In magnificent scenery, natural beautiful landscapes, rugged mountains, bold coastlines, superb timberland, a lovely lake, the Tasmania Peninsula. And lots more answer tours will show you Tasmania like nobody else can. On fully conducted tours designed to let you see it all. Tour starts from only $601. Answer Pioneer, 147 King Street, Sydney. Phone them on 268-1363. Hi, this is Ed Lawton, reminding you that for the best in music, stay tuned to your hi-fi service.
When Clay and I saw Eddie Goff's carny boy sitting at his table off the 44 Rue Vaugirard, it told us two things: that Goff was still after Elaine, and that we couldn't very well pull up a chair and sit under the trees opposite her apartment, too. Not unless I wanted to tell Goff, and through him possibly the French police, that I was in Paris. So the only thing to do was to hire a car. But we had the most abominable luck. While Faye was going through the business of hiring it, and when we drove back there, Carney was gone. And the obvious inference is that he shoved off because he's following her. Well, I was furious enough to clutch at a straw. I rang that Littre number in the Forlorn Hotel, tricking its address out of whoever answered the phone. Forlorn was right. I didn't get any address. But it was the same I listened to that night at Hamilton Place with Elaine. Can you imagine how I felt? There was the solution to the mystery of the death of Alexis Brown. I'd give an eye to know where Elaine went tonight. But all I can do is sit here in the car with Faye and wait for her to return.
Now, who is this? And if it's Elaine, what will I have to take to Pocahontas? Cherie, it is you. I knew it.
Get me in, Andre, quickly. Get that door shut again.
Oh, but yes. And no one saw you in the corridor, eh? No, it's empty.
Cover me, man. Get the door shut.
At once. I was sitting here alone, thinking of you, with nothing else in my thoughts.
Darling.
Now, be calm for a moment and tell me, where have you come from, the apartment?
Yeah. Station is on.
Did you know?
March and Clay Carpenter in Paris. That's the first thing.
Listen, March.
You can't think how he managed it, but I saw it with my own eyes. Then up in a light blue suit with clear-cut hair, so the gendarmes were taken to the American.
Now, where did you see them?
Across the street from my apartment.
Together?
We don't have to worry about them. They don't matter to us in the least.
How can you say that?
Theodore and Raven are taking care of them. They have to.
How?
Being safe and got out of the way, both of them. It's doubtful if they'll be alive in 24 hours.
I wish neither of them were alive now.
I tell you, we don't have to worry. They're being got rid of for us.
Oh, it's all right, Cherie. Forgive me for being alarmed. But if that one, that March, could survive so long...
He and the girl are at the end of their rope. They won't survive much longer.
Well, then, if you have just come from Castor and Raven, you must have a Montmartre address at last.
Of course I have. They're at 60 Rue Grenadine.
Ah, that's what we've been waiting to know.
That's not all. On the strength of March being in Paris, leaving for Zurich the day after tomorrow, early Tuesday morning.
And returning the same night.
Andre, with the money.
At last.
That's what I've been saying to myself. At
Finally, after waiting so long, now one can make plans.
You mean plans for Theodore and Raven?
Theodore, Castor, and Raven. Well, do you think you'll be going straight from the airport to the Rue Grenadine with the money?
As far as I know.
Oh, we could intercept you and dispose of Raven, and then continue to the Rue Grenadine for Castor.
Intercept Raven and me where?
That's a problem. Or would it be better to be waiting somewhere nearby for you to arrive at the house and get rid of them both together?
I'd say do it at the house.
Leaving no traces. Leaving nothing to show who killed them. Or why.
Leaving only you and me.
But yes, Cherie. Only we two. But now that we have the opportunity, I must know how the house is situated, how I am to get in, what rooms will you be in with the others, and how long do you think you will be there?
There's a place to park, Chris. Will it be close enough, do you think?
It'll have to be.
Oh, we can't pull up right outside the lane's door, for heaven's sake.
Hey, we're going to park in that spot. They get in and park before someone else grabs it. Hovering up the street.
Look, you don't have to snap my head off. Can you see Carney back where he was?
No, I can't.
All right, then in we go. I better back in a bit closer to the curb, I suppose. And I don't want to hear anything about my driving.
I haven't said a word about your driving.
Well, do try and do something about your filthy temper. Now, we're a good 15 yards from where Carney was sitting, and that Brant woman's block of flats is diagonally across the street. So it could be a lot worse off.
How?
Oh, do pull it together. Snap and snarl since you came up on board.
Well, what should I be doing? Jumping up and down with glee? I heard his voice. I stood there listening to that unknown voice from Hamilton Place, and there wasn't a thing I could do about it. It's enough to drive you out of your mind.
Well, there's no reason to drive me out of mine. Now, if you won't calm down, pick up your stolen phone book from the floor at the back and occupy yourself looking for that meat tray number.
Oh, such fun.
For 2 pence, I'd get out and leave you here alone.
If you want to shove off, do so by all means.
Look, are we going to have a quarrel?
Why did we have to be getting this idiot little rattling damn car just at the very time when Elaine decided to go out? She's got 24 hours a day to lead us somewhere, but she has to trot off in the 20 minutes we were away from the place. I'd like to smash them.
Well, she has to come back sometime, doesn't she?
Yes, but when and how long do we have to squat here like two birds in a rock till she goes off somewhere again?
Well, you want to improve things by behaving like a perfect cop.
Am I?
Yes, you are. I didn't come to Paris to be street cat. I'm running myself ragged to do what I can for you, so if you can't cheer up, go and be hateful to someone else.
All right, then, I'm sorry.
But you don't sound it.
Oh, well, then let's start arguing back and forth about whether I'm sorry or not.
That does it. I'm going back to the hotel. You can sit here and watch for Carney and Elaine by yourself, and for all I care, you can be here till the middle of next week.
Hey, Carpenter, get back into the car.
I will not.
Yes, you... Oh, come on, let's not have any female tantrums.
Oh, look who's talking.
Back in you come.
Oh. All right, all right. I don't have to be dragged in, do I?
This time I am sorry, I mean it. Oh, there's a peg on the side of your neck to prove it.
Well, there's no need to wound me.
I wasn't really barking at you.
Much.
And I'll get to work on the phone book. I'll not say another word now. You still love me?
No, and I never did.
No, I didn't mean to get bad-tempered. It was just the two things coming together, finding Carney gone and then hearing that voice.
Chris.
What?
Look there. They're coming up across the street.
And there she is. Sapphire blue mink and all. Where have you been, Elaine, you witch?
Paying the cab off. Going straight in.
Why isn't she riding a broom?
If we watch it to come on, might tell us which flat she's in.
I see something better to watch. Look straight ahead. A little grey car pulling in near the corner.
Carney.
It's being met by another fellow. Having a conference. Now, just sit tight, Faye. See what we can get out of this.
Do we know the other man?
He's not one of Goff's show from London, we know that.
All right, Carney boy, now the first thing. Did you hand over to Zutty's man before you left?
Oh, sure thing, Mr. Goff. He was there waiting when I tailed the Brant dame back, see? And I left him sitting there with one of them Vermouth cactus drinks in front of him. You know them. You got this hooch, this kind of wine, see, Vermouth, and you slip in a shot of this red stuff. Comes from blackberry.
Carney boy, where did she go?
Oh, yeah. Well, there I am sitting under the trees when she comes out looking like $1 million with no hat, that blonde hair done so, and the mink, just like Fifth Avenue.
Where, Carney boy, did she go?
To the Rue Canet to see the boyfriend, Florine.
How long was she there?
45 minutes, I guess. Then she came straight back to the apartment.
And that's the score?
Well, no. I didn't catch on till she came out of the apartment block to begin with. She had to wait on the curb a minute or two for a cab, see? The doorman came out making with the whistle and the upraised arm, but she gave him the brush. You know, you could figure the dialogue. She told him to beat it. She'd hail a cab herself.
Not wanting the fellow to hear what address she gave the driver.
Sure. He goes inside with one of them big French shrugs. And while this was going on, this other guy, who'd been sitting no distance from where I was, he goes over, he gets in a little heap he's got parked there and waits. See? Then this Brant dame got her cab, and off she went, and this new guy following along, and me bringing up the rear, number 3.
What happened when you got to Rue Canet?
Well, I figured I'd better be kind of cagey, see? I parked around the corner, got out and watched from there.
Did this new character follow her back to the apartment again?
Now, that's where I had to take a chance. When she came out after the 40 minutes or so with the boyfriend, she found another cab and took off. But the other guy just sat there in this little heap waiting. Okay, so did I. After a couple of minutes, out comes Fleury. What did the guy do? He started tailing him.
And what about you?
Well, I headed back for Rue Vaugirard as hard as I could go. When I got there was Madame Brandt just arriving home again. So I had a word with Zuddy's fella and left him to it. And that's it, Mr. Guff. I hope I did right.
Well, you had a problem, didn't you?
Sure. Could have gone along with the other guy and Fleury, but it's the Brandt name I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on, so I had to let the other two go.
Well, that's okay. You couldn't split yourself in half, now could you?
Well, that's what I was telling myself. Connie, boy, I said to myself, what you should be in a situation is two guys instead of one. Hey, but who do you think it could have been?
I don't even have to stop and think.
Okay, who?
Somebody working for Mr. T.M. Kastner who wants to know who's crossing him up and when and how.
And I'll bet that's all you're going to say. You're going to go ahead and drive me nuts some more.
As it happens, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, but what do you make of it? What really goes on with these characters?
What goes on is that the situation is about to blow. It's going to blow to bits right in their faces.
But not in ours.
No, not in ours. No. We're the guys that are going to lay the fuse. And I can tell you something else, Carney boy, something you ought to be gladdened to hear. We mustn't lose sight of Elaine Brandt, not for a minute. Because it's going to be any time from now. Goff was right. The situation was due to explode, but in his face as well as everyone else's. You see, since the scene had shifted to Paris, there was one man in the affair we were all failing to take into account. A good fellow by the name of Godfrey Folland.
Yes, but why do you need it? You're asking me for an electrician made to Phillips car. Yes, I am. You're the people who made the car things, not the finance got shots of the flavour. I asked them, but why do you need it? Those guys have got all the time in the world. I don't. I have a Phillips car phone because I'm so flat set that if I'm stuck out of the man on the road, I'm losing money. The money car phones. They cost peanuts. Yes, I meant to believe it. They're not compared with the money I make and the money I save. You need to be an astrophysical...
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, to work that out. And you don't need to be a brain surgeon to know why I chose a Phillips.
Well, why did you?
Mate, these are the slutties who spent the last 10 years taking care of mobile communications for the ambulance mob, the police, the fire brigade, all over the country. They knew they had to get it right, and they did.
Yep, I guess so.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I've got to get out in the traffic and start making money. Oh. Yeah, well, thank you very much. Phillips car
On your FM radio dial.
Time Radio.
A Mouse for Alexis is an original story written in Sydney by Lindsay Hardy. Donovan Joyce.
And you're listening to the Hi-Fi Home Service, the music of your life.
Won't you play some simple melody like my mother sang to you? One with a good old-fashioned harmony. Play some simple melody. Musical demon, set your honey a dreaming. Won't you play me some rag? Just change that classical nag to some sweet, beautiful drag. You will play from a top tune that is chopped. You get all my applause, and that is simply because I want to listen to rag. Musical demons at your honey dream. Won't you play me some rag? Just change that classical nag, my mother, to some sweet and beautiful drag. If you play from a copy of a tune that is chopped, you get all my applause, and that is simply because I want to listen to rag. Musical demons that you honey, you dream moon, famous and rag. Tis that classical night my mother sang to me. Beautiful drag. If you replace my copy of a Jeanette, you get all my applause. And that is simply because some simple melody. Play from a copy of a tune that is choppy, you get all of my applause because I want to ragtime melody.
Yes, Big and Gary and play a simple melody on TCM.
Car radios, rip prices on car radios to shreds with sensational settings like these. Sony digital auto reverse radio cassette with FM AM stereo, music search plus 2 Polypro speakers totaling 120 watts of pounding power. Normally priced at $560, Ryder reduces it to $299. If you like a bit of meat in your music, Ryder has amplifiers totaling 200 watts of clean power. Normally over $400, out they go at just $120. Ryder Car Radios, Petersham, Chatswood, Banks.
You're listening to the Hi-Fi Home Music of Your Life.
lie here beside you, just watching you sleep. And sometimes I whisper what I'm thinking of. My cup runneth over with sometimes in the evening, when you do not see, I study the small things you do constantly. I memorize moments that I'm fondest of. My cup runneth over with we won't even notice the world turning cold. And so in this moment, with sunlight above, my cup runneth over with love. My cup runneth over with
Well, I'm looking out on an overcast sky in the morning. I can hear although I'm just a pawn in nature's game like you. Lifted
dog, howling so forlorn, laziest dog that ever was born. He's howling 'cause he's sitting on a thorn and just too tired to move over. The tins in his own seat, my old blue jeans, and my last of the pork and beans. Just can't depend on nothing.
mine is. If there's love behind it. This diamond ring can something beautiful in this diamond ring can be dreams that are coming true, and then your heart won't have to break like mine did. If there's love behind it, doesn't shine for me anymore. In this diamond ring doesn't mean what it did before, and then your heart won't have to break like mine did. If there's love behind
place where she comes from, nobody knows. Now that you ask me, I guess I like the way she wears her clothes. The way she smiles at him, his heart just swells, it grows and grows. Y'all think I'm telling you fairy tales, I suppose. Don't you know it's magic? Ah, baby, it's magic. Look at her eyes, they were a little bit hazy. Paradise coming to us in the lady. Don't you know it's magic, baby? Oh, baby, it's magic. Magic carpet right for a woman in shoot your friend as long as you take your turn. You're only 6 years old, you own the world, you got friends to burn. If you wanna be an Indian chief or a sheriff, respect you got to earn. Fairy tale you got to learn. Don't you know it's magic? My baby, it's magic. See a little boy standing there, a bow in his hand and a feather in his hand. Don't you know it's magic? My baby, it's magic. Magic carpet right for a little boy's dream. When you're dealing with your brother, Benjamin, and you need a helping hand, yeah, baby, what you gonna do? Take a positive view. You know you can, be you can, baby. Don't you know it's magic? Oh, baby, take the hand of your brother and do what's best. You go home, lot of love, a lot of happiness. Don't you know it's magic? Oh, baby, it's magic. Magic carpet right for you and me. Oh, don't you know it's magic? Yes, baby, it's magic. Magic carpet right for you and me. Oh, don't you know it's magic, baby? Baby, it's magic. Magic carpet ride for you and me.
Hello, Magdi. Very good. How can I help you? This one, yeah. Yep. There's no more odds pan left. Finished. No, it's finished.
You might wake up some morning to the sound of something moving past your window in the wind.
Take whatever it is.
And if you're quick enough to rise, you'll catch the fleeting glimpse of someone's fading shadow. Out on the new horizon, you may see the floating motion of a distant pair of wings. And if the sleep has left your ears, you might hear footsteps running through an open meadow. Don't be concerned, it will not harm you. It's only me pursuing something I'm not sure of across my dreams. With nets of wonder, I chase a bright, elusive butterfly of love. You might have heard my footsteps echo softly in the distance through your mind. I might have even called your name as I ran searching after something to believe in. You might have seen me running through the long abandoned ruins of the dreams you left behind. If you remember something there that glided past you, followed close by heavy breathing, don't be concerned, it will not harm you. It's only me pursuing something I'm not sure of across my dreams. With nets of wonder, I chase the bright, elusive butterfly of love. Nets of wonder, I chase the bright, elusive butterfly of love.
Now listen, you rich people. Weep and wail because of the misery that is coming on you. Your wealth has rotted and moths have eaten your clothes. Your gold and your silver are corroded. Their corrosion will testify against you and eat your flesh like fire. You have hoarded wealth in the last days. Look, the wages you failed to pay the workers who mowed your fields are crying out against you. The cries of the harvesters have reached the ears of the Lord Almighty. You have lived on earth in luxury and self-indulgence. You have fattened yourselves in the day of slaughter. You have condemned and murdered the innocent one who was not opposing you. Be patient then, brothers and sisters, until the Lord's coming. See how the farmer waits for the land to yield its valuable crop, patiently waiting for the autumn and spring rains. You too be patient and stand firm. The coming is near. Don't grumble against one another, brothers and sisters, or you will be judged. The judge is standing at the door. Brothers and sisters, as an example of patience in the face of suffering, take the prophets who spoke in the name of the Lord. As you know, we count as blessed those who have persevered. You have heard of Job's perseverance and have seen what the Lord finally brought about. The Lord is full of compassion and mercy. Above all, my brothers and sisters, do not swear, not by heaven or by earth or by anything else. All you need to say is a simple yes or no. Otherwise, you will be condemned. Is anyone among you in trouble? Let them pray. Is anyone happy? Let them sing songs of praise. Is anyone among you sick? Let them call the elders of the church to pray over them and anoint them with oil in the name of the Lord. And the prayer offered in faith will make them well. The Lord will raise them up. If they have sinned, they will be forgiven. Therefore, confess your sins to each other and pray for each other so that you may be healed. The prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. Elijah was a human being, even as we are. He prayed earnestly that it would not rain, and it did not rain on the land for 3.5 years. Again he prayed, and the heavens gave rain, and the earth produced its crops. My brothers and sisters, if one of you should wander from the truth, and someone should bring them back, remember this. Whoever turns a sinner from the way of error will save them from death and cover over a multitude of sins.
The end of the book of James.
You're listening to 2CM.
How fast can you think? The human brain has the potential to think faster than the world's largest computer, but even more astounding, you can actually read as fast as you can think. Some people have learned to read up to 2 times faster than the average person by learning to read dynamically. Put simply, dynamic reading allows you to read and absorb whole groups of words all at once, rather than one word at a time. Graduates of the Evelyn Wood Reading Dynamics course are amazed by their results. Evelyn Wood is conducting a strictly limited series of free lessons this week. With just one free lesson, you could double your present reading speed with improved concentration retention.
Come to a free Reading Dynamics lesson tonight or tomorrow night at either 6 or 8 p.m. at the Menzies, George Street, Wynyard, or Hurstville Civic Centre, McMahon Street, Hurstville, or Parramatta City Motel, Great Western Highway, Parramatta, or in St Leonard's, the Glenview Motel, 194 Pacific Highway. That's 6 or 8 p.m. tonight or tomorrow night.
Hi, I'm Andrew Edgeworth from Parramatta Marathon Westmead, and you're listening to 1820 2CM.
The Book of Jude.
Jude, a servant of Jesus Christ and a brother of James. To those who have been called, who are loved in God the Father and kept for Jesus Christ, mercy, peace, and love be yours in abundance. Dear friends, although I was